appendix burst, which is why I've been gone for the past couple of weeks. At the end of the month of February, I was just really in a lot of pain, and then I went to the ER, and then while I was in the ER, my appendix burst. It was one of the most atrocious feelings in the entire world. Highly hope that no one that is a viewer of mine ever has that kind of pain, because it was truly atrocious and awful. I had to get surgery. I was in the hospital for a week, but all I kept thinking about while I was in the hospital was, how am I going to recover in time so that I'm able to go to Chicago? I had my appendix removed on the 26th, and my trip to Chicago was on the 9th of March. So I had little less than 2 weeks to really get myself together before the trip. When I left the hospital, I did get cleared. However, I was still in a massive amount of pain. I was still on a lot of antibiotics, a lot of medications. So this video isn't really formatted the way I originally wanted it to be formatted, but I did try to grab as much footage of the store on the 11th when I went, even though I was exhausted. So again, I apologize if this video isn't the usual vlog format that I do. Let's just get right into it. Let's just get started. Let's talk about this trip, and let's talk about the Chicago store, because I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of opinions on the Chicago store as a whole. For this trip specifically, I asked on my Instagram who you guys wanted me to bring, and all of you guys between the twins wanted me to bring Nikki. So I was very happy about that. I actually really love my Nikki doll, so I was more than happy to bring her along on the trip, and I definitely will bring Isabel on my next trip to another American Girl store that I do, but Nikki was the fan favorite for this store specifically, so I brought her along with me. If you guys are curious, I have absolutely no shame bringing my American Girl dolls out in public. I feel like the American Girl bag is actually a really cute bag to hide my dolls in, but even then, I did get a lot of questions in DMs about me taking photos of my dolls in public, and I absolutely have zero shame taking pictures of my dolls. I'm a grown adult, and also people that stare and look, I mean, like, what are they gonna really do? I will never see these people again, and with that mindset, I've kind of just lived, laughed, loved whenever I'm taking photos of my dolls. So if you're ever worried about taking pictures of your dolls, my advice for that is always to just lead with confidence. For me personally, just shutting everyone out is honestly the best way that I've gotten some of the best photos, because people obviously see me taking out my doll. People see me hairstyling my doll right before I take the pictures. So for me, I always go in with intention, with confidence. I do everything with purpose. And usually the more that I am out taking photos of my dolls, the easier honestly it just gets. At the end of the day, it's really not that deep. And just having that constant monologue going in your head of, it really is not that serious. No one is going to really think twice about it after they see you do it, has really helped me in a lot of instances. I hope that that helps you if you are looking to take photos of your dolls outside, because honestly on this trip I was in too much pain for me to even care what was going on around me. So I took these photos and did not absolutely care what anyone thought about me taking photos of my dolls, and honestly it really did help. So hopefully that helps you guys if you're looking to take photos of your dolls in public. Now, on the day that we went to the American Girl store, it was Saturday, it was freezing cold, but once I stepped inside of this American Girl store, you guys, oh my God, that store literally took my breath away. It was massive. It had high ceilings. Everything was laid out so beautifully. And when I walked in, I truly felt like a kid again with the way that the store was laid out. It just reminded me of the old store in New York, and just how luxurious yet how warm the store used to feel in the New York store. Now the New York store feels like a Sears. I feel like I've told everyone that lately. Like, the American Girl store in New York is literally like a glorified Sears. It's a Macy's, it's a department store, but the Chicago store still holds the American Girl charm, even with the renovations I heard that they did with the salon and all that. But still, walking in and seeing this store, I was so happy. I just immediately was brought back to being a child, looking around, seeing all of the displays, seeing the historical section. The fact that the historical section itself was one of the first things you see when you walk into the store made me so happy. Like, seeing that at the front of the store and immediately being in front of all of the historical displays made me so happy, because in the New York store, they're literally like down in the basement and they're really pushed aside. But this store having the historical dolls as the first thing you see made me just unbelievably happy. It really just put focus on what the brand was founded on, which are the historical characters. So seeing that, seeing the displays was really, really nice, and I really did enjoy the way that the store was laid out. As I was looking around, I remembered that this was the flagship location, and right now with a lot of the stores closing, I know for a fact that Chicago, New York, and LA are definitely going to be the flagship locations that are going to stay. So honestly, I'm just going to say it right here, right now, even though I haven't been to the other ones, and I don't really know what the LA store is gonna look like. But of the stores that are open right now, I feel like Chicago is definitely the store you have to visit. I was walking around the entire time in the Chicago store, like with my mouth open, because it has the charm. I don't even know how to explain it. I feel like people know what I'm talking about if you've visited a lot of American Girl stores, but there's a certain charm that the American Girl stores have, and I feel like the New York store is a perfect example of how it was lost and now how it feels a little bit too modernized and it's lost its charm. And I feel like right now with a lot of the stores closing, I feel like American Girl's trying to modernize a lot of their flagship locations. So I am a little scared about LA, but for the most part, I definitely will say that Chicago, go to the motherland. This is the first store that opened for a reason, and I think that they are trying their absolute hardest to keep the charm of the original store, and it shows because everything from the historical dolls to the Girl of the Year dolls to the displays to the way that everything is laid out just definitely felt still cozy, even though the store was really big, like humongous. I was very much overwhelmed when I first walked in, and I was just brought back to being a child, like I said before. And this store, again, I highly recommend going to if you can. It's beautiful. Chicago was beautiful, but this store, honestly, you guys, it deserves all the hype, and I will credit it as being the best American Girl store to visit. Don't quote me on that in a couple of months when I go to the LA store opening, but we'll see. Anyway, it's time for the reservation for the food. And let's talk about the cafe. The store is 2 floors, and when we walked in, we really only had time to do the footage that I'm showing now of the first floor of the store, but then we went immediately upstairs to the cafe to make our reservation, which was at 12:30. So the whole check-in process for the restaurant was the exact same way that it is in New York. And again, I loved the restaurant in Chicago. I wish that New York still had their iconic Fifth Avenue view overlooking the city, but they unfortunately lost it when they moved to 75 Rockefeller Center. And it's upsetting because again, you're in the basement, there's no windows, there's nada cute to look at. You're literally like in the deep, dark depths of the basement of New York as opposed to what it used to be. So the cafe here was also a huge win for me. Me and my best friends, we went upstairs to the cafe. They gave us our menus, they gave us the warm cinnamon buns, and we actually had extra because my one friend was absolutely obsessed with the cinnamon buns and needed more. They wrapped their napkins in the exact same hair elastic that they wrap all the napkins throughout all of the American Girl store cafes. And the menus do differ between stores. The menu for the New York store was definitely different than the one here in Chicago. Here in Chicago, they had options that were not available in New York. So I was like, let me make sure that I order something that I would not be able to order in New York. So I got the pizza. And also the beginning like appetizer tower that they did here was definitely different than the New York store. In the New York store, they literally hand you like salami and some bread and call it a day. Whereas here, like it was fruit, it was yogurt, it was little pigs in a blanket. It was so good, you guys. And it definitely was a really good first course meal. Now, because of my appendix, I literally took 2 bites of my pizza, but it was really good. And if I had an appetite and if my stomach had allowed me, I definitely would have eaten the entire thing with the fries. It was amazing. The food was great. Even my friends told me that the food was great and that for the price point, it was a great meal overall. And again, the atmosphere overlooking the city was so great. So again, loved the cafe. After the cafe, I went outside and I looked at the rest of the second floor. I saw the salon. It was very reminiscent of the New York store, but I feel like the cafe in the New York store and the salon in the New York store kind of flip-flopped. So the massive view that you used to get in the cafe, the salon has that now because in the salon there are huge like floor to ceiling windows that overlook the street. So I feel like here right now with this Chicago store, that kind of happened too. The cafe has a great view, whereas the salon literally has like no view of anything, but it does have the New York layout. And everything upstairs was nice. I hadn't seen the Jenny's ice cream truck in person. It's massive. And all the Truly Me stuff, I feel like there really wasn't a lot of Truly Me stuff, or I don't even know how to explain it. Like the historical dolls in the front of the store downstairs were just such a huge point of the store. I feel like the Truly Me dolls took a backseat, and the Truly Me section just was small. I don't know. Maybe I didn't really like digest the store overall, but it felt to me like the Truly Me dolls were the background of the store and the historical dolls were the forefront of the store, if that makes sense. That was really good to see. I enjoy that layout. I am happy that the Truly Me dolls were taking a backseat. But looking again around at everything, I loved this store. I love the layout. I wish the New York store was like this, where it was like a happy medium of old store, new store, all of that. But, you know, it is what it is. And with that, I just want to say thank you to every single person that said hello to me at this store. I actually left that store very surprised by the amount of people that stopped me. And even though I was in pain, I put on a smile, and I really hadn't, other than my Instagram, I think, announced that I had gone through a surgery. But thank you to every single person that said hi to me. I was very surprised, and I cannot wait for my next American Girl trip to meet more people. I love you guys. It was amazing. Thank you if you said hi to me in the store. I definitely will not forget it. All right, you guys, that was my trip to Chicago. Again, I am so sorry that there's really not a lot of footage for my next location that I'm going to be going to in regards to American Girl doll stores. I definitely will be doing the vlog type video that I have done before, but I really had no energy to be doing any of this after what I went through. So I hope you guys are very understanding of that. And again, thank you for just being patient with me to get this video out. You do not understand what it means to me. I am feeling a lot better. I am still recovering. I have another week, but I definitely will be peddling videos out because I have a lot of time and I am bored out of my mind. I definitely will be posting like regular. I am bedridden still, but I will still be creating content for you guys. So don't worry. I will be back with my schedule next week, 2 o'clock every Saturday. So definitely make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel and make sure you guys are following me on my Instagram for all announcements. With that being said, if you have made it to this part of the video, I would like to announce at the beginning of May, I will be going to the Orlando store. I am so excited. There's so many announcements that I'm gonna be making with this specific store. There are a couple surprises with this specific store and what I have planned, or dare I say what we have planned, but I will give more information later on the Orlando store, times, all that, and of course some special surprises. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. My name is Chris. You guys can follow me on my Instagram, which is at the Doll Studio by Chris. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.